Chris and I met with me in not in a good state. And then we find out that, and we were kind of, I don't know, I was like, are we going to stay together? I'll probably never get married again. All men are jerks. I'm just going to have fun and party, and
That's
I don't care.
valid.
Right? That was kind of my attitude, and that's how we met. Well, then we find out that he's going to be a daddy. And this whole thing, because long story, but he was in the military, and then in the Navy, he went to Great Lakes to process out. And in his processing out, guess what? There was a baby created that we didn't know about. And so when this all came out, I think I've told Nick this several times. I 100% believe that there's never a child born by mistake or accident, ever. And I've told Nick this when he was little. I said, it takes 2 adults to consent to sex, but then it takes a powerful God that breathes your spirit. If God chooses not to breathe a spirit, because I'm more than this flesh and blood, I am who I really am, who I truly am is my spirit. And that was breathed by God. And I said, Nick, God wanted you here. And Nick's our little angel, because the reality of him coming into our life changed mine and Chris's mindset. And so when we found out that Chris was a daddy, life got real serious. All of a sudden, life was serious, because a human was coming into this world that was Chris's son. And what were we going to do about it? It was, I know there's nothing that you would tell me different, that God didn't plan that, because I think I was probably headed to self-destruction and partying. And I was just being an idiot. And the gravity and the heaviness and the bigness of a human life that I knew that God permitted, that there was no mistake. So Chris and I, at that time, we said, okay, what are we going to do? There's this little boy, and that's your son. What are we going to do? And so we prayed about it. Life got serious. So we found a church. We had friends praying for us. What are we supposed to do? And I had orders that I was supposed to be leaving Guam and go. And now Chris is out of the military at this time, and then I was supposed to go to Tennessee, have more kind of an administrative type job there. And we said, we can't, because this little boy's going to be in Illinois, and we would just be financial parents. We would just send money, but we wouldn't be able to be involved in his life. So I called the detailer and said, if you can get me in Great Lakes, I'll stay in the military. But if you can't get me to Great Lakes, I'm resigning my commission and getting out of the Navy. That's how serious we were just going to move to where Nick was. And so she canceled my Tennessee orders and gave me Great Lakes orders. And we moved to Great Lakes and began having Nick every weekend, and became as much involved as we could in his life.
School, simpler times, spent with simpler minds. Probably thought about them damn near a million times, but that was back before I had like a billion rhymes. I guess that life's still good, it's just a different vibe. Just a couple of buns, all trying to get by. Just a couple of teens, all trying to survive. Live to the max, cause you don't live it twice. Couple green thumbs, all high as a kite.